AITA for telling my kids I'm not okay with calling their stepmom mom. 2 years ago, my husband left me for my best friend after 20 years of marriage, and they got married. As much as I loved my husband, his affair wasn't a surprise. My MIL told me on our wedding day that men like him don't stay loyal to women like me. She was right. What hurt the most was the betrayal from my best friend. I loved this woman and considered her a sister. Since then, I have done NC from both of them. Any communication regarding the kids goes through a third party. If they are at an event, I don't go there. My kids know this and have respected this boundary. They know not to mention them to me. And we celebrate birthdays separately. The kids are now 16F, 17M, 17F, 18F, and 21M. Recently, when we were all at our house, 16F asked me if I was okay with her calling her stepmom mom. She said since she will have a half-sibling soon, this will make the half-sibling not confused and part of the family. I told her that no, I am not talk with that woman being called mom, but she could call her that if she wanted to. Just because I don't like it doesn't mean she doesn't have to do it. I won't be mad at her if she calls her mom. The other kids started getting mad at her, but I shut them down. My MIL called me screaming saying I'm alienating the stepmom, and I should have told 16F that I'm okay with it. I have an honest policy with my kids. I am always open and honest with them. Just because I do not personally like something they do, doesn't mean I don't let them do it. For example, 17M has a lot of piercings I personally do not like, but that doesn't mean I forbid him from having them. Edit. I just went up to my daughter's room. I gently asked her why she gave MIL my number. She said because grandma asked her. I asked if it was her idea to call stepmom mom. She said yes. I told her she is more than allowed to call her mom. It doesn't matter how I feel about it. I also told her that I went NC with her grandmother for a reason, and she isn't allowed to give my number out to people I don't talk to. She apologized. Also to the people asking about the stepmom. She was my best friend for 15 years and the kids considered her an aunt. When the affair happened, the oldest kid stopped talking to her, but the youngest was very attached to her still. Maybe that's why she feels comfortable with calling her mom. Either way, it's her choice. Edit 2. Wow. Thank you so much for the support. I just got back to my PC and wow. I would like to address a few things. To those of you accusing me of blaming the stepmom and not my husband for the affair, I blame both. I got betrayed by two people. One a husband and one a sister. A betrayal from a sister hits just as hard as a betrayal from a husband. And secondly, some of you have been commenting on why my daughter is so attached to the stepmom. My youngest is a very loving person. Her stepmom has been in her life since she was 1 year old. Back then she was auntie. After the affair, all my other children turned away from her. But it wasn't so easy for my youngest. She still cares for her. My boundary is still in place. I'm NC with the ex-mil, and ex-best friend. I will be logging off now. Have a great day. Story 2. I 19 male am planning on cutting off contact with my parents, 52 male and 48 female, and I need advice, thoughts/support. In short, since there is too much detail as to what happened, my father has abused me since I was a young child and has hardly interacted with me until this day, making me feel no affection towards him or desire to stay around him. He has emotionally abused me from elementary school until this day. He has verbally abused me from elementary school to high school, and there was a short period of physical abuse when I was in middle school. From elementary school to the middle of middle school, he had made threats towards my life on a regular basis, which I'm still worried about because he has stated recently that he sees no problem with their parents hitting their kids if they make them mad. It is especially concerning considering that the only time he acknowledged how he treated me as a child was followed by him saying that I will find that it was for the best despite how badly I was treated, which means that he has had little self-reflection after treating me badly for years. Due to this, I'm very uncomfortable around him and I'm afraid of making him angry. I'm not sure if his behavior being less horrible over time was because of him realizing that some of it was bad or if it's because I rarely interact with him. Due to him making a threat towards me if I join a club that he thought is too nerdy, a Quidditch club. A paraphrase of what he said is if you join that club, I'm going to beat the S out of you. and saying that it's okay for parents to hit their kids if they make them mad during a car ride last August. I'm not sure. My current situation is that I'm a college student living on campus over an hour away from home. I'm in the end of my freshman year and I'm planning on eventually getting a master's degree so that I can teach at a college. My schooling will take around 5 to 6 years. I realized how much happier I am away from home after winter break. During winter break, I had been told by my father that I would fail the class that I'm currently retaking and that he'll force me to change majors because of his dissatisfaction with me pursuing a design degree and wants me to get an English degree. He also said that I shouldn't have got C's last semester. I got 3 A's and 3 C's, and that if I continue to get C's, he'll force me to drop out of school because people who deserve to go to college shouldn't be getting those grades. For more context, besides giving me a place to live, I have taken out a loan to pay for college, which had to be co-signed by my mother due to me being too young to do it myself at the time, and I'm also paying for my school supplies, including textbooks. My father has no involvement with my schooling in any capacity. Constantly being told this caused me to get worse, undoing some of the progress from counseling I have been taking at college without my parents' knowledge in hopes of raising my self-esteem and coping with the abuse I have been going through. He treats me nowhere near as horrible as he used to treat me, but he still makes me feel miserable, and I want to cut off contact with him. I have chosen to leave within a year or two after I had to go to the bathroom during class to cry after coming back from break because of the idea of him only being able to leave my life if he died, or if my parents got divorced without me leaving myself made me feel so horrible. I don't want to wait 5 years to leave home. I'm so tired of feeling like S. Every time I come home and having to pretend that nothing ever happened because no one at home acknowledges anything bad happened to me, which it is driving me insane. I want to form a plan with my counselor and get help from my college's relationship violence services, which helps people from all different kinds of abusive relationships. I'll have to wait until after summer because I'll be taking classes for my science credits at a nearby college because it will be cheaper and I'll have a place to live. I can tolerate one summer and I'll give myself time to get all of the paperwork and money in order. I'm unfortunately unemployed because my workplace was too far from campus, but I have $5,530 in my bank account, and I'll obviously get financial aid because of my dramatically changing financial situation. I'm also planning on seeking jobs on campus that waive tuition because I know of a few. This sounds like an easy decision to make, but my biggest issue is that I will have to cut off contact with my mother because of them being together. I love and respect her dearly, but I don't feel as though I have a choice. Will understand how I'm feeling or agree that I was abused because she spent so much of my childhood rationalizing his behavior and has seen some of the abuse happen, a little of the verbal abuse, a lot of the emotional abuse, and the aftermath of the physical abuse, but has done little about it. She once got me out of the house for a while because she didn't think I'd be safe at home due to my dad being in a bad mood, but that was the extent of help. She has talked to me about my dad a handful of times recently, saying about how his dissatisfaction with life causes him to take it out on people and how she is stressed out over how he behaves. My mother is aware that he's not a good person. Even my dad said that he wasn't a good person himself, but still seems to love him. I actually feel as though her love for my dad has caused her to forgive him. My father is nowhere near as bad to my mother besides threats to leave her when I'm not around and occasional jabs at her appearance. It's not good, but I don't think he posed any physical threat to my mother if I left. I'm planning on writing a very long letter to her about what happened to me and why I'm leaving because I think everything is so complex and hard to fully talk about in a linear, understandable way, and also telling her that I'm not leaving because of her in a way that makes sense and seems like a thoughtful decision I have made. I want to say in this letter that I love her, but I will not keep this person in my life that she wants to keep around. It is her right to be with whoever she wants, but as an adult, it is also mine to cut off whoever I feel is bad for me. I also don't want to hear her try to rationalize his behavior. I have given my father chances to change and form a positive relationship with me for years, but I have given up after seeing that he keeps on repeating behaviors and seems complacent with how he is my decision a good one. Is it wrong of me to have to cut off my mother? Update. It has been 2 years since that post and many things have changed. Most significantly, I have finally cut off my family and have been living on my own since late August in an off-campus apartment. Since moving to my college town, many people are no longer a part of my life, and those that remain are my girlfriend, who I have been together with since July, and some nice people I met at work. I have gotten a job close to my home, where I work long hours, but the paycheck is great for my expenses. I'm awaiting a call as to whether or not I'll be hired for a job that is slightly farther away, but pays more and offers more benefits. Wish me luck with that exclamation. I wish I could report that everything is fine now, but that wouldn't be honest. On the finance aspect, everything has been working out, and I might even own a car in the near future. I have also been speaking with the financial aid office to figure out what I'll be doing for the next school year. I spoke with them earlier than necessary, so I will need to wait until the FAFSA for the 2022 to 2023 school year and several scholarships I wanted to apply to open up. However, I have gotten worse since cutting off contact with my family. I wish I could have considered my therapist's thoughts more during our last session that I might relapse, but I did not. I have gotten severe health anxiety I have never experienced before, along with emotional control issues and general paranoid thoughts. I think the first thing may be due to COVID, but it has certainly gotten significantly worse if I did have it before cutting my parents off. My now busy and drastically changed lifestyle may have also had an impact on my current state. I'm very thankful for my girlfriend, who has helped me tremendously in this difficult time. If you've somehow stumbled across this post, I love you and hope that your own family situation turns out okay. Speculation aside, it will be a long journey until I'm healthy, and I knew that going in. I wanted to rush trauma recovery very badly, but I've realized that's not possible. Adulthood is all about trying to figure out, I guess. The process of doing adult things is easier than I expected, but also very hard. It's not that keeping track of your expenses or making sure that your prescriptions are filled is hard, but it's that you have to keep doing it, even if you're so exhausted that all you want to do is sleep all day. I've found that exhaustion napping is my new hobby. Haha, I guess the summary would be that I'm somehow surviving, and it's all that I can continue to do. I hope this conclusion doesn't come across as a sad one, because it's really not that bad. The outcome was normal given my circumstance, I think. It's definitely a good trade-off from what my life was like with my parents.